It's the coveted Quarterback of the Week award. Matt, who you got for Week 12?
All right, I'm looking down at my numbers right here so I get these statistics right. This man was 29 of 40, 317, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks, 128.9 rating. Tua Tagovailoa, Quarterback of the Week. He's outstanding. And I was having this conversation with James Brown yesterday, kind of in between. And Tua reminds me of like the baseball statistics, the WAR baseball statistics, wins above replacement. I don't think anybody's got a better WAR, a WAR number in the NFL than Tua Tagovailoa, right? Like his wins above replacement are incredible. And we were talking MVP or whatever earlier, but when you're talking to the value that he brings to this offense, to that team, to that building, with the way that he plays within that scheme, it's unbelievable. Timing, throwing the football over the middle of the field, touch, finding windows, manipulating the football, getting the football out quickly. He's been fantastic. He was awesome yesterday. It's a scary team right now. I know he's made a lot of comments too about playing this Thursday night in the cold and all of that. I might not have gone that route, but he's been fantastic, and we'll see. If that show can be taken on the road up there in Lambeau. But he was phenomenal Sunday.
Yo, I love that award. And it's the WAR replacement comment that you made is brilliant, and I think it takes a beautiful mind to be in that Mike McDaniel offense and to have that marriage between head coach, coordinator, and quarterback. Tua is the man for the job, and it makes everybody's job easier on that offensive line, the backs, the tight ends, the receivers. You see their screen game, particularly in the red area. It's just brilliant, and the guy for that job is Tua Tagovailoa. He's been awesome. Clearly a chip on his shoulder from coming out with the concussion issues and all the things that people had to tell him, time to go home. Tua, he ain't going home. He ain't done yet. He's got Thursday Night Football coming up, and he's rolling right now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think his feel, his anticipation, his timing with the guys that he has, Waddle or Tyreek, even using the backs out of the backfield. Jonnu Smith the last couple of weeks has been fantastic, right? He's been on fire. And so I just love what he's doing, love how he plays, love watching him. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, there are very few players in the NFL who have gotten more appreciation, I think, for what they do than Tua Tagovailoa this year, because you saw what that offense looked like without him. One of the worst, if not the worst offense in the NFL when he wasn't in there. Everyone's saying, oh, he's a merchant of Mike McDaniel. Oh, he's a merchant of Tyreek Hill. Oh, he's a merchant of Jalen Waddle. It's like, yeah, those guys help, but we saw what it looked like without him. So what are your thoughts on Tua and just stylistically, the way he plays the quarterback position? Because I think he gets hated on a lot because he's got a noodle arm. He misses some big shots. But he also makes throws on a weekly basis that other guys don't even want to attempt. He's throwing balls before guys are even in the vicinity of where that ball has to be because of the anticipation he plays with. How do you sort of stack a quarterback like him up with the rest of the league when he plays the game in such a unique manner?
He's like Greg Maddux compared to like Randy Johnson.
I was just going to say that. I was going into my baseball references. He reminds me of Greg Maddux, right? As a pitcher, it's about location. It's about changing pace. It's about, being one step ahead of who he's going against. And I kind of liken him to that. I mean, we can talk about, arm strength and, missing stuff down the field. There's very rarely in this league, I don't care what your arm strength is, very rarely are you throwing the ball 50 plus yards in the air. I mean, that might happen 2-3 times a game. And I think that's probably on the high end of times that's going to happen. To be effective in this league, right, you've got to operate between 5 and 25, 30 yards down the field. Tua's got plenty of arm strength for that. And it's all about when the ball arrives, right? It doesn't matter how it gets there, but it's about when it arrives and is it in the right spot. He throws the football so early, right? So early that it's arriving on time. That's all that makes a difference, right? That's really the only thing that matters. So, I think he's got excellent strengths in the spots that are most important for playing this position. Does it wow you throwing the football like 60, 70 yards down the field? No. Does he wow you with the velo of it coming off the hand? No. but it's where it's supposed to be when it's supposed to be there over and over and over again.
Quarterback's tough, and he makes it look easy sometimes on a weekly basis, the way he's able to dissect opposing defenses. All right, if you had to give an honorable mention, or maybe a few if you got, who do you got for Week 12?
Honestly, in a losing effort, I want to give Bryce Young honorable mention. I know we talked about him earlier, but again, I go back to it. 5 throws in that game that absolutely wowed me. You talked about it earlier, Mike. You know, with young players, the thing I think about all the time, number 1, are you decisive? He was very decisive yesterday. Number 2, is the ball coming out on time and in the right spot? He was absolutely perfect at that yesterday. And then number 3, do you have an answer for pressure? Because you're going to see it. And that's kind of like the trifecta right there for a young quarterback. If you can do those 3 things consistently, right, that's going to lead to production for you out on the field. So he would be my honorable mention for performances yesterday.
I love that. Even Patrick Mahomes was giving him his credit in the post-game interview yesterday. It's great to see that from Bryce Young.
And it's not like he was throwing to necessarily these elite weapons. Now, the offensive line has definitely played better of late, but they still could use some guys on the outside that can get open. He still had throws in that game that could have been completions. You mentioned a couple. I'll throw out the Tommy Tremble red zone rip down the seam. That probably should have been a completion. That guys still aren't making plays. They maybe don't have the full complement of weapons that he should have there. And once they do, yeah, Bryce could be that dude.